on to the next part of the evening. We've got an opportunity to ask questions of the coaching and management staff as well.
Miles, I guess this FA Cup run started start of August, and here you are. You're going to be playing still in the FA Cup in December. How have you done it?
I don't really know. The truth is no. A lot of luck and a lot of determination from the players, really. It's great credit to all of the players and everyone at the club. No one can really believe that we're in the second round of the FA Cup. Like I've said to a few people, we're not a club that is expected to do anything near where we've got to. But we've got a squad of players and not one of them's on a contract, which shows the level we're at. You know, everyone at this standard will have players that are on contract, on decent money, and this club is nothing like that. We were playing County League football last year, and we're in the second round of the FA Cup this year. It is amazing, really.
Yeah, you won the league last year, so you're at this level for the first time. You've beat 3 teams from step 3 in this run, so you've already had plenty of upsets and great days already.
Yeah, and listen, we've beaten. When we played Enfield, we had a little bit of luck on the way. There had a few players missing, but the players were very good against Hartley, Whitney, and against Bowers. So it's not. I wouldn't have said there was a great difference between the sides on the day, but this one's a little bit different. You know, these are professional footballers you're playing against on, and they're at it every day. So our players go to work, and football's a second thing for those. So we just take it as we come.
And how do you prepare for playing a League One club?
The best we can. The two coaches will do what they can, and me and Graham are trying to G the players up, and all we'll ask is for as much as they can give us, really. Hard work, and we'll go out there and see where we end up.
And what does this run mean to the club and sort of the money that you've raised and everything like that?
It's fantastic for the club. It'll most probably keep the club going for 3 years, and that is a major thing for this club. At the beginning of the season, we didn't know that we was going to have enough money to survive the year. So, you know, with expenses and all sorts that we got to pay out, and now we've got the money to look forward to next year without all the worry. So that's a major thing for us.
A question for the two coaches, if I can, Danny and Dava. What's planned for this week? Is it going to be a very different week of coaching because you're playing a League One team at the end of it? Do you have to work them 3 times as hard? Do you have to do things differently?
It'd be 5 times as hard, wouldn't it? 5 leagues above us. No, I don't think we can do too much different in terms of when we meet the players. They've all got full-time jobs. Some of them are full-time students, and it's very, very difficult to get access to them more than what we want. And even for us, we can't commit to too much more than what we do already. So we're gonna work tonight. We're going to work on Thursday, and we're fortunate to get an extra session in on Saturday. And how do we get the messages, the pictures, the analysis, the discussions? Miles has got to make some difficult conversations with players. He can only pick 11 to start the game. How are we going to do that in 3 occasions? It's going to be difficult. I think we've got an idea on what we need to do, and we've been talking today, myself and Dave. We're fortunate to work with each other. And what I think we need to give the message to the players is nothing should change. No matter who the opposition is, we're going to play the game how we want to play the game, and nothing should change. I don't know if you want to add to that, David.
No, it's like a case of we keep doing what we've been doing. We might need to change 1 or 2 movement patterns just to try and entice where we want to try and move Tranmere to the positions we want to get them into. But you know, they're, like Miles said, they're a full-time outfit, and they'll be extremely fit. That does worry me. I think minute 70 will take its toll, but like the majority of these lads are sort of PT, so they should be hopefully as fit as we can get them. So we'll just be prepping as normal. Saturday we have been fortunate enough to get a decent surface, so we'll just work on tidying the last little bits up, and making sure that the players are ready for that, both in possession, out possession, bit of transition and the set pieces, and then it's over to them, and then see what they can do.
And just following on from that, I suppose this is more for Miles and Graham to answer. on the day you get to Tranmere, you're in the dressing room before the game, what are you saying to the players? Are you saying different things on that day to what you'd normally be saying before a game, or is it the same sort of messages?
I always ask for as much hard work as they can give us. So Graham's a little bit different. You try and rally them up in a different way, whatever. But for me, it's just about giving everything you've got, and I just hope they do that on the day. I don't know about Graham.
I don't know at this moment what I'm going to say. I normally don't really prepare. I normally just capture the moment and try and say what I think befits the moment. I'm going to try and concentrate on, listen, it's a big occasion, we all know that, that's why you guys are here, but it's trying to somehow take the emotion out of the game and the magnitude, because I do believe that we have to go there with some belief. The players need to relax as much as they can, which is going to be very, very difficult. You know, we've played in a relatively nowhere near this standard, but we played in the FA Vars last 16, I think last year or the year before. I think both Miles and Danny would probably agree that the occasion probably got the better of us and we didn't perform. We got beat on the day 1-0 and we got away with one because it should have been a lot more in my opinion. So for me, Saturday/Sunday will be about the guys getting the preparation right and then saying little fine details on the day. I can't tell you what I'm going to say yet because strange things happen in my head. So whatever comes out, hopefully it comes out in the right manner, but I want everyone at this football club, players, coaches, volunteers, to enjoy this occasion because I'm a realist and this will never happen again for me. Maybe Dabra and Danny, they got a few years ahead of what me and Miles got. So we kind of know that it's going to be the biggest occasion for all 4 of us to date. Me and Miles, like you say, we're probably a little bit older than these guys, so we need to embrace it. We just want to give a good account of ourselves, really. That's where it lies. But some strange things can happen in football. But I don't know. We'll see on the day what we're about.
Team news-wise, obviously Scott Jones grabbed the headlines with his infamous interview at the second round draw. Is there any suggestion as to whether he'll feature on Sunday, or is he going to be travelling across the pond?
You can ask him, he's out there. He's brought his surfboard tonight as well, so I don't know what that gives us.
I think he was surfing Saturday, to be honest.
He'll be there.
He weren't great Saturday.
I second that.
Third and fourth. But he's a good character to have. Everyone at the club loves him. He's a good lad to have around. So yeah, Scott will be involved in one way or the other Saturday.
Not many players bring their surfboards to training, so.
Or skateboard.
Miles, Colin Bowman here from Burgess Hill Town. You beat us 2-0 at the start of the season, or 2-1. Burgess Hill Town?
Yeah.
You must pinch yourself every morning.
What, I'm alive?
with the success that you're having.
Yes, listen, we say, and you're from Burgess Hill, so you know as well, if any club at this standard gets in the second round of the FA Cup, it's an achievement. You look at, I looked at it the other day, I think it was 32 non-league sides went through to the first round proper, and that is an achievement on its own. You look at the sides that are not in it at the moment, Sunderland are out of it, so, and little old Chichester are still in it. So that's how much of an achievement it is. And we all know, all 4 of us, that in realistic terms it won't happen again at this club. But we just get on with it and just take the moment. And I think all 4 of us have said the same thing. On Sunday we're just going to go there with a smile on our face, which is normally hard for me, but I'll be smiling.
That will be very
I'll
difficult.
be smiling all the way there and all the way home, I should think. So.
I won't bank on that.
From a tactical point of view, from myself and Dan, though, it's a great challenge just to pit our wits and against a League One outfit and see what we can do with the players, both tactically and technically, and see what we can produce and the pictures that we want to try and get out, like we said earlier, and that's a great challenge for us. So on that behalf, we're looking forward to it. but we're also very realistic and know that could fall flat in our face as well. So, yeah.
3 of you have played in first and second round of the FA Cup. Do those experiences as a player, however long ago they were, help you now in terms of trying to tell the players what to expect and what it's going to be like? Do you think? Or was it too long ago?
My experience is you do forget, you know, in time, but you still remember. I remember driving in towards Rotherham and getting a police escort, things like that. But you know, it's a big moment, and the biggest thing is the players enjoy themselves on the day. But like Graham said, that's going to be really hard because sometimes the moment does take over.
I don't think the experience is really going to help that much, if I'm brutally honest, because all 3 of us lost in the first round, so we haven't actually tasted victory. So that's kind of like the biggest stumbling block for us. I think, you know, the reality is we have to believe. Can we do something on the day? I don't know. It's a very tough ask, isn't it, to go and, you know, I'm not saying I would have fancied our chances out there on our pitch, but it may have given us a very small bit of advantage. We're going to play on a carpet of a pitch. They're used to 6,000–7,000 a week. We're used to 60–70 a week. So there's a lot of things to contend with on the day, even like you say, staying up overnight, things like that. It's all totally different to what we're used to doing. So, but we can only go there and try our best and work very hard. And if we do that, we'll all be happy. I think all 4 of us.
Yeah, absolutely. And from the playing perspective of being in those bigger games, I think there's a big difference between playing and being coaching involved in those bigger games. So I think, me personally, I feel more responsible as the coach what goes on in the bigger games than when I did when I played. I don't know what the other boys think, but that's how I felt it. And I know at 5 o'clock on Sunday it'll be finished, and I just want to make sure that every single one of them doesn't let the experience go past them, and it doesn't get too much for them, and they really do express themselves and try and play with as least fear that they can.
How have you carried last year's promotion into this FA Cup run? The momentum, how have you carried that into this FA Cup run?
I think it's helped. I think what we did last year was special to the club. First time that this club's been at step 4 of non-league football, tier 8 of football. And I don't think it's a coincidence that we've had a good cup run this year. I think the other thing to consider is we've made some very, very good summer signings, including Daba coming on board, and 2 or 3 outstanding players. And I think that's helped us with the players left from last season that did win the league. And I think you put the 2 together, we were always going to do and be competitive this season, but we didn't think we'd be this competitive. And with a bit of luck, as Miles said earlier, and the right attitude, the right players, yeah, there's a reason why we've got this far in the FA Cup. If we take it game by game, look back at all the other games, if we look back at them now, there wasn't much to fear in those games. But this is a daunting challenge. This is very, very different, so we will see.
Being from the northwest myself, I'm also well aware there's been some involvement with Bury in your progression in the competition. Are you expecting to perhaps see some Bury fans, supporting the lads on Sunday as well?
Yeah, 100%. I think there will be some Bury fans there, and it was said by the chairman on the way, and I was on the way up to the draw when we got the bye, and it was just said in jest really that if we got the last ball out, which I said no chance, we'd donate something to Bury because they'd be in the same situation we were last year, and we were in a bit of a dire straits last year, so any help would have gone a long way. So that's all we've said to Bury, and some of their fans have picked up on that and appreciated the gesture. So that's where we are with that.
Are you guys looking forward to being on television, on TV this weekend?
I'm personally, don't make a lot of difference to me. I'm not that worried about it. but obviously it'd be daunting when they're putting a camera in the changing rooms and whatever. Everything you say would be sort of scrutinised or whatever. Hopefully we don't swear too much, but I don't know about this.
It'd be tough.
That'd be nice. Yeah, it'd be good. Listen, it'd be a great experience for everyone. Not just us, the whole football club. I think, you know, we've got to remember it's about the whole football club. And I think something that has been forgotten as well is that everyone talks about the bye, and everyone's forgotten how hard the football club worked to get to the first round. So if we actually analyse what went on, getting to the first round was incredible. I know we did get the bye, however, for like what Miles says, you know, 80% of that team were playing in the county league last year, and for us as a club and a management team and a team of players to do what we've all done is outrageous. Now, I do agree with Miles. Yeah, you do have to have a little bit of luck on the way, and we have. Let's make no bones about that. However, what we've done to get to the first round was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
We said that, didn't we? When your wife allowed you to come to Chichester in the pre-season, because we had to twist his arm. Dav has obviously been involved with a lot of highs at Bognor Regis Town, which I know he remembers fondly. Danny was championing him, saying he'd be a great addition to us, and I think the four of us worked well together. But I also want to put on record the credit really from the very beginning, where me, Miles and Danny started 3-4 seasons ago. There's been a lot of players that have been at the football club that have allowed us to get to the position where we find ourselves today. You know, the players that have been here for the past 3 years that have served the club very well, and they won't be forgotten either, because they're all part of the journey. Last year we weren't favourites by any means to win that county league. We managed to get away from Eastbourne Town quite early, and overall we deserved to win the league. The table don't lie, but like I say, 3-4 years have been a lot of people involved. Players and staff have come and gone, and they've all sort of taken part in this journey and where we get to today. But we're not going to, you know, we're not getting carried away by, you know, the fact that there's a lot of media attention, because we all know it's going to disappear next week, and then we got to get down to the bread and butter. I know it's a lot of everything's cliche, but we do have a league to concentrate on in December. And if you were there Saturday, you would have known that although on paper it looks a great result, there were lots of things that the coaches and me and Miles weren't happy about. And if we take some of them habits into Sunday, it ain't going to be pretty to watch that. So we made the players aware of that. So hopefully we'll give a good account.
Yeah, I'd second that as well, because I obviously wasn't here last year, and what these three did was exceptional, just to get out of that league. Fortunate enough, me and Dan work with each other, so every sort of Monday and Tuesday I'll be coming in and calling him Coach of the Year. With he kept coming in 1-0, we won 1-0, 1-0, nicked to 1-0, nicked to 1-0. So credit to these three for getting them up and what they did. An excellent achievement.
I think we convinced her, didn't we, by saying that we had the basis of the tools at this club. Absolutely. I think that you would openly admit you were surprised by the quality. You know, nothing is, you know, not as good as what Bognor had, but I think even Dabba would say he was quite surprised with what he was working with in pre-season. I think he's pleasantly surprised, and which gave him something to chew on.
Absolutely.
Him and Danny have done a fantastic job in, you know, we've slightly changed the way we play. We were maybe a little bit more direct, a little bit more archaic at times to get out of the county league, and it was a needs must. But I think now, hopefully, we're going to reap the rewards of a little bit of fine tuning and some top grade coaching from these two. That's about as much credit as you two.
That's the most credit G's given me and Dan in a long time.
It's just because I want Dabba to stay a little bit longer, because his wife might pull him back. So he does struggle to get out and have a beer and stuff like that. He don't make many games.
Miles, you and Graham have worked together in management as a double act, if you like, for a long time. How did you first sort of start working together, and what keeps you together after all this time?
I think we both bang off each other in a way. I'm very. We've both got sense of humour. I'm not so loud with it, and he can look at me all he wants. Yeah. Graham would be outgoing with it. Mine would be sort of dark side, sort of what he says. I'm giggling inside. People don't know when I'm laughing or taking the mickey, but he does, and we sort of clash off of that. I let him go out there and just batter people or whatever, but we do have a laugh. And if me and him are honest, that's where we've come through. To be non-league manager from county football, you've got to have a sense of humour, and you've got to not really take too much seriously. And that's why, you know, as much as we say it, when we say it to each other, Danny and Dabba will, you know, sometimes pull us back and say you can't do things like that. But that's where we are, and that's where we've got this far, really, in a way, is through. We do the funny side of it and mess around or whatever, and you've got to do a bit of that. I've got to be a bit careful if you've got players, but he does whatever he wants in a way, and that's where we are. And these two do the serious stuff, and you'll see that on Sunday.
Yeah, I think Danny and Dabba bring the professionalism side of it. I'm not to say that me and Miles do joke around all the time. We don't. I think I don't want to give too much away, but I think we're portrayed as a couple of jokers at the football club. But we know, and we're happy for that to reverberate around Sussex. But there's a little bit more to it than just joking around. We have both got strange methods to try and get the best out of players, and then, like I say, Danny and Dabba just had that, especially where we've gone up from the county league. I think we might have got away with certain elements, whereas these two rein us in slightly and remind us where we are and what we're trying to do and what we're trying to achieve. But ultimately, I know it sounds bizarre because there's a massive game at Tranmere on the horizon. We have to remind ourselves that we do this for the love of football. So we all work hard. I'm not sure about these two, have got really easy jobs, so they probably have a lot of time off, but me and Miles work hard. So for us, it's a form of escapism, and we try and bring that ethos to the table with the players. They work hard when, you know, whatever working hours they do. So for them, it's about enjoyment, and that's the primary reason. We're just lucky that the squad of players we got this year are probably, bar two of them, they're all within 5 miles of this football ground. So the camaraderie, the togetherness, all them other buzzwords you want to put in, it's prevalent in this squad. They drink together, they socialise together, they work hard together on a football pitch, which is our main concern. They back each other up 100% all the time, and we are fortunate to. The difficult job will be after the Tranmere game or whenever we exit the cup, is that we've got a squad of 17, 18, and you feel for, you know, the 6 or 7 that are on the bench week in, week out, because those guys deserve regular football as well. So how long we can manage that situation is somewhere that we'll look to in the future.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.